Sanbonani. I'm Christina Landman, and I'm a professor at UNISA in theology. I am also the actuaris of the Northern Synod and a minister in Dullstroom URCSA. But I'm also a mother and a member of the community, and therefore it's important for us to talk about marriage. The country's laws allow three types of marriage. The one type is when one woman is married to one man. Now, please remember that when you become a minister of the word in URCSA, you don't automatically become a marriage officer. You have to go and do the exams at Home Affairs, and then the minister will give you a number and appoint you to become a marriage officer. But when you are a marriage officer, it's a very responsible job, really. There are three types of marriages. The civil marriage, one man, one woman, one unmarried man to one unmarried woman. You must always check whether they are not really indeed married. It happens a lot of times, and then you are going to be in trouble. The other marriage is same-sex marriages, one man to one man, one unmarried man to one unmarried woman, and one unmarried woman to one unmarried woman. So that type of marriage, even if you are registered and a licensed marriage officer by means of the church, you may not actually solemnize those marriages, same-sex marriages, simply because our church has not decided yet that you may do it. This is, at the moment, we are still discussing it. It will be discussed at our regional synods in October. Then it will go to back to the General Synod. And only if the General Synod decides that our ministers may marry same-sex people, then we are actually allowed to do that. But at the moment, the church does not allow it, and the law allows for it, that the church may say, you may not marry same-sex people. Now that, I'm not going to give my personal opinion about that one, but I feel that the General Synod must now give us strong guidance. Then there's, of course, also customary marriages, where a man marries more than one wife, and that even if you are a marriage officer by means of the church, you may not at all solemnize customary marriages. The Minister of Home Affairs appoints people like chieftains and so on to do this. You may not marry President Zuma to his next wife. Even if you want to, you may not do that. And these are exclusive. These three types of marriages are exclusive. You cannot marry a man who is married to a woman. You cannot marry him to another man, or you cannot marry a man who is, in terms of civil law, married to another woman. You may not marry him to yet another woman in terms of customary law. Okay, you may in any way not do that type of marriages. Okay, so now what does our church say now about marriage? Stipulation 61 in the Church Order of the Northern Synod tells us about how the church sees marriages. It's also a General Synod stipulation, and that says that monogamy is what our church prefers. It's one man married to one wife. And that if people are polygamous, a man has more than one wife, then when they become members of the church, they can remain married to different wives, but they may not, while they are members of our church, marry more than one wife. Also, polygamous may not be elected to any official position in the church. It also says that people, church council members, and then also, by definition, pastors, ministers, must be married in the church. That is, they must have a civil marriage. So our church does not acknowledge lobola relationships as official relationships, but we all know that the church order gives us guidelines, but that life looks very differently. For instance, in my church council, it would be devastating if we don't acknowledge that people who are on the church council are in lobola relationships. Now, we wanted to change that, and there was a motion at the General Synod that we should look into what is a marriage, but at the moment, you know, we only acknowledge monogamous marriages. The problem is that when people, you would get a woman who said she wants to be licensed as a minister, and she's trained and everything is okay, but she's lobola but not married. And then, you know, what, is this okay for us or isn't it okay for us? At the moment, it's not okay. But people from a cultural perspective say that that must be recognized as a marriage. Lobola should be recognized as a marriage. On the other hand, you have black women theologians who say, but lobola is not good for women. It should not be even recognized as a practice. What to say about marriage? So, and then the white church would say, we are not going to unify with you if you are going to start acknowledging lobola as a marriage. So have a lot of voices coming in here. It's complicated issues. The church is working on it.